What's going on, guys? Big Mike, D717 Outlaw. So we are back up here at Beaver Springs for pretty much the last test and tune of the year. This is pretty much my last opportunity to get to the racetrack this year. And of course, since the turbo bike is down, we had to get Pinky to the racetrack. We already went through tech and she passed. They're already going to the lanes, so we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna get her up in the lane to just see what happens. We're hoping for it to be mid to low nines, hopefully by the end of the day. But we're gonna see, because it's gonna be me going back to a hand clutch after running a slider all year. So let's see what happens, guys. Alright guys, so first pass out for the for Pinky. Didn't go too bad. I have to kind of look back at the helmet camera video maybe. The shifter, I think I might have been missing the button. The button on this is very old school, so I might end up having to replace it. But it didn't shift very good, but we still ran in the high nines, so I'm happy with that. Everything else kind of felt okay. I want to make sure that it wasn't breaking up. The tune on this thing is very, very rich. I found that out just because of the smell of the exhaust. I think it still has a nitrous tune in it because this thing did have that cheater system in it. So I'm pretty sure that it's still tuned that way. But I'm going to look into some tuning software for the off season to see if we can get this thing, get more into tuning and get this thing set up a little bit better. But not a bad first pass. We're in the nines, so I can deal with that. We ran a 1.6 60 foot, so we're not too bad. This dry block thing's getting a little weird. I'm not used to the bike, the temps going up as high as they are. So we're letting the bike cool down here on the top end. But I guess that's not a hard way, but that's one way to find out that it has auto shift. I have no idea how it's tuned. Apparently me hitting the button is killing the ECU, or at least doing something to that degree, because it seems like when I hit the button is when it acts up. So that pass might have been a bust. But we'll see what it does on the next. I'm not really sure. But yeah, gotta let her cool down, so I'm waiting for a little bit. Well, guys, it's a day later. Well, actually 2 days later. It's Tuesday. Starting to look at Pinky, trying to figure out why the clutch didn't feel quite right when we were up at the racetrack. And honestly, we started tearing into it, and it's kind of odd to me at least, but the clutch pack is dry. Like, I'm assuming that we might have overheated it, because I mean, the plates aren't that bad, but you can see they have some burn marks in them. But it's almost like it's not getting oil within the basket. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to look into that and see if maybe that's a problem down the road. But I mean, honestly, everything looks good. The push rod, or at least the top hat section, that seems fine. I mean, the bolt and everything, nut and everything's tight on the inside. I'm gonna pull the rest of the plates out and we'll see how they all look. But the clutch pack being dry might be a slight concern for me, because I'm used to, whenever I put the clutches together, I always put oil on them, and usually they stay pretty good. But this, I mean, they're dry. The only plate that had moisture, or at least had some sort of oil on it, was the front plate that was against the pressure plate. But yeah, let's look a little bit further in here into the clutch pack and see if we find a problem. Well, guys, I mean, going from back to forward, I mean, this plate looks almost brand new, which I'm going to kind of put this back in as we go. But you can see backside of this plate looks almost brand new. This side is a little scorched. So I'm not sure why it's only grabbing in a specific spot, because the next steel has a lot of color. I mean, that got a lot of heat. And luckily, I mean, I know this isn't the flattest surface, but it's not warped. But that definitely isn't very good. Yeah, I mean, I still think maybe the clutch going, seeming a little dry might have been what it was. But I don't know, guys. That to me, that's a lot of heat in a plate. But the plates don't really look that bad. They're not worn uneven. They're not, but you can definitely tell that these were getting some heat in them. One plate got the brunt of it. The rest of them got just a little bit of heat in them. Nothing crazy, but I don't know. It's a little odd to me. To be honest, that being said, I'm going to try to look over a couple other things and just get an idea. The biggest thing with this is this was mainly just a big shakedown pass. We wanted to see what the bike would do, how it felt. I mean, the bike feels great, squat's good, the seating position's great. I want to look into the shifter deal, because it is auto shifting, even though, to be honest, there's nothing on this bike that should be making it shift on its own, unless it's wired into the shift light, which I'm pretty sure Gen 1 busas did come with a shift light. And maybe it's just whatever RPM that shift light's set at, is when that light comes on, it's sending a signal to kill it somehow. But just kind of give the bike a good once over. Everything, like I said, to be honest, everything feels good with the bike. It doesn't feel like there's any issues anywhere. It was just the clutch. The clutch just doesn't feel quite right. I'm wondering too if maybe if I test it around the block a couple times, maybe trying to launch it, is if it's the, what I want to say. I think I am going to change up the springs though, because I do have like the heavy duty, the ultra heavy, and the regular heavy. I mean, I got some pretty beefy springs in this clutch, so I might opt for pulling the extra heavies out, replacing them with OEM, but keeping like maybe do half and half, 3 heavy, 3 stock, just to see how the clutch feels. I'm wondering if we weren't just fighting the Master so much. But then again too, is the Master and stuff that's on this bike might be the original, and if Dale and them had a slider on it for that many years, there was no fluid in that thing. So I mean, there could be O-rings that are out that maybe it's just now that we put the heavy springs in it, it was fighting it that much that it couldn't disengage the clutch properly or something of that extent, because there's some heat in here that went into the clutch pack. But we got some dialing in to figure out. I'm going to go ahead and mess with it a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. But honestly, guys, I can't complain about the track. Mother Nature fought us really, really hard. We had a handful of rain delays and things like that, but I'm glad that we got what we got done. And the bike's running in the 9s on if I get a good pass. But I'm fine with that. We got to get a little bit of a shakedown. It was kind of rushed, but hey, we got it done. We know how she does. We have some bugs to work out. That's what off season's for, and that's what we're going to do. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Remember, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment if you want to know anything more about the channel. Check the links down below as well for companies that I've used to buy parts to build all of these bikes, from Pinky to building the turbo bike to working on the R6, things like that. But stay tuned, guys. We will have some more videos. Maybe if we get lucky, we can get out to the racetrack one more time. We might have to go a little bit south, but we'll try and figure something out. But as always, guys, ride safe, ride smart, always wear a helmet. See ya.